I got two guests today, different subjects, so we'll be looking at two issues. So let's start off with a look at the federal government's CNG plan. In case you're wondering, CNG, compressed natural gas. Well, the first of my two guests is Mr. Mike Osatuyi. And Mr. Mike Osatuyi is the National Operations Controller of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN. And so the first question I put to him was that, okay, you say petroleum marketers. I kept the fact that I know that CNG, they all come from this kind of a source. But I said, okay, you are IPMAN, petroleum marketers. Why are you talking to us about gas?
Well, we are licensed to market.
You're licensed to market both.
Petrol and gas.
Yes. And so, all of them are coming from the same source, right?
They're byproducts.
They're byproducts.
Well, when you produce, in the process of producing the petrol, you have CNG, you have LPG. You have so many byproducts.
Yes.
That come out of the process of production.
Mm-hmm.
So we are licensed by midstream, downstream. So if you know, to distribute and market all the products. If you see that, some stations, when you buy your gas, your petrol, you then open your boot and buy your gas.
Well,
so you have gas skid.
Yes.
Stations.
Now, of course, we're talking about gas now because of the high price of petroleum following the removal of subsidy on that particular product. And so a lot of people have begun privately to experiment with this whole question of an alternative fuel for their cars, for their generators. But let's stay with cars for the moment because it was in that connection that the NNPCL, announced on Thursday that it is partnering now with NIPCO Gas Limited to develop CNG, compressed national gas stations in the country. And they delineated it like that because apart from compressed national gas, we also have liquefied petroleum gas, LPG.
Yeah.
That's what madams and caterers up and down the land know as cooking gas.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. But we're talking about CNG now. CNG is different from, it's a different, I don't know, it's another conversation between the two. Which is better, or what are the differences between the two? I don't think we really have all of that time for you to go into that. But the thing is, it's gas. It's gaseous. And unlike where the LPG that I spoke about just now, which is liquefied natural gas, I think people who have those newfangled cylinders that you can actually see the volume, they actually can see, the volume of their cylinder. And if you shake it a bit, you can see that, oh, I got half of a tank full. So that's for LPG. But with CNG that is being promoted now, we're going to need, specialized dispensing stations, because people need to know where to go to fill up on this gas. So let's talk about that. We don't have very many of those stations now. What is the plan? What is the federal government's plan in terms of numbers and spread across the country for people who will be converting to CNG?
Yeah, you have asked so many questions.
Take any way you want.
Take it from any angle. Compressed natural gas, CNG, is for vehicles. And it's being used over the world so many years ago. But it's because of our what do I call it? Our nonchalant attitude in Nigeria that made us to be starting now. That is that. But we can, we do have stations where vehicles can go and
we have a few of them.
We're very limited. We only have in Benin. You have much in Benin. The only one I know we have in Lagos is the one in front of MFM there. That's owned by NIPCO. And NNPC that are now partnering with NIPCO now. NIPCO has been in this business for over 14 years on this CNG because CNG is cheaper, right?
Than fuel.
That's fossil fuel. It's cheaper, right? And you get CNG from maintain, and while LPG is from propane, and CNG is lighter than LPG. And if you are using CNG, it's more cheaper. 1 kg of CNG can take you to about 25 to 30 kilometers. That's it. So
well, you see, one of the more useful ways in which these things are compared is 1 liter of fuel, for instance. People have an idea because cars have forever been delineated. We've been describing their cars as 40 miles to the gallon, or 40. So, what can you put that into miles per liter, or it doesn't work like that?
No, I mean, we talk of kg when it comes to gas.
Well, that's kilo.
Right,
yes.
About 25 to 30 kilometers will take you 1 kg. And, it's environmental friendly. Right?
Okay.
Because it contains less sulfur and lead.
Okay.
Right? I mean, the exhaust, what comes from the exhaust is not very light. Right? So, but like petrol, which you will see the flames and whatever. So, and the engine will last longer if you are using CNG. Right? And we don't need to go to any importation for CNG or even LPG. So we have them in abundance in Nigeria. The gas we have in this country can take us 400 years. So we have it in abundance here. But they're going back to the question of what's the plan of the government in terms of making people to access this CNG in our stations. Yeah, if manners don't tell that, okay, we have the stations throughout the whole country, cities, hamlet, villages, where we can deploy the skid, right? It's just like your LPG for cylinder, right? You can drive in to any station and buy your gas. And so also, we are ready now to also put the skid in our stations because we have limited one in Nigeria. But the cost is also there. So government has to come in terms of giving maybe soft loan to the stations because we have 3 years. One, the first is are the stations equipped with the dispensing skid? No. Are the vehicles converted already for CNG? No. Then where are the conversion centers in the country? These 3 things has to be put in place before we can talk of CNG. But we have to start from somewhere.
So we need to establish an infrastructure
yes.
For this.
But to make it easier, the stations are already there. The stations, both the Ipman stations, Moman stations, Dapman stations, they are already on ground.
What stations?
Filling stations.
Filling stations
they are
already there.
So it's not to deploy the equipment and the tanks to the stations.
Okay.
And that is the area government has to come in. But it's not something you are going to do in 1 month or 2 months. But you have to start from somewhere. Like Dr. Debo. Debo said that Ipman are ready to accommodate the skid in their stations, right? If you don't need to be building special station for CNG, right? It's whatever. So government has to come in. Yes.
Although the NNPC has announced that it will be, erecting 35 specialized CNG stations.
Are you not saying that one station per street doesn't make sense?
But it's the beginning. You said it. It's the beginning.
If you put one station in the state, can it serve us?
No, that is in addition to what you are talking about.
Okay, if it's addition.
But that is their own plan.
Okay, that's their own plan.
Yes.
But that in collaboration with Ipman stations and Moment stations.
Okay.
They can't do it alone.
No.
Because they don't have the infrastructure enough. They have the station too, nationwide.
Yes.
But the one day...
These are stations that are going to be constructed as the MD
those stations they are talking about is the one they have already got. They have one station per state. Right? Then they have some affiliates.
Okay.
Right? In which they have little or no control if I mean, they don't agree with. Yes. So, but the most important thing is for them, for the government now, to use immense infrastructures and normal infrastructures like Total, like
of course,
Mumbai and whatever,
which we're already using for LPG.
Thank you.
We're already using for LPG.
You know, you can just now you can drive into any station and buy your LPG.
Yes. Well, no, not any station. Not any station. Not any station.
No, they don't have the facility.
Yes.
But as is, out of, in fact, if you want to go from your house to go and buy, you don't need to go far, right, to buy gas, right? So also, if man stations are deployed for this operation, it will be very easier because you know that we are in the hamlets, we're in the villages, we're everywhere.
Okay, that's right. You know, okay, because, you know, I hear you, sir. But in the same way as we have some specialized stations, even now, NNPC special stations, they are different from all the other ones, you know, even though they do the same thing. I think because of that, the MD was announcing that there's a strategic partnership between NNPC and NIPCO for 35 state-of-the-art, you know, special ones. But let me go on a break. We'll come back. Okay. So we were talking about the NNPC NIPCO. NIPCO is a gas organization, been in existence for about 14 years now, and the NNPC, we all know NNPCL. They are going into a strategic partnership, and we're talking about with the gas that they shall be producing, CNG, as an alternative to petroleum, the super petrol that we use right now. And Benga in Abuja is waiting to join the conversation. Good morning to you, Benga in Abuja.
Good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning to your guest.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
NNPC and NIPCO coming together to establish CNG stations and the rest is a welcome development. It will create jobs. It will create an alternative source of energy, which will do the hardship or the side effects of this subsidy removal, and also all the value chain accompanied with it. But my own is that why are they coming at this time? NNPC has been a sole importer of petrol for the past 2 or 3 years, and they know that the past government have already said that even that as January they want to remove subsidy. But because of the impact it can have on the election, they now shift it to June. NNPC organization, I think that they should have made separation, establishing all these gas stations all over Nigeria, so that by this time it is just a seamless transition from petrol to CNG, and that by this time now, people will be being engaged and being employed. In fact, the pressure that have been left on the government is about the hardship, about the people are getting employed, creating jobs. But they'll be pressing the government that, yes, the government was forthright and forward-looking. So I'm thinking that, does it mean that they were not really looking at that direction before? An investor in the energy industry, I think this should have been done earlier. Also, private sector also, and I've not seen enough synergy people in the private sector investing in this area. Because, look, our youth are roaming the streets. We have no job. And many people have money stacked in the bank, billions of naira, both in the Nigeria and abroad. And this is a low-hanging fruit of making money and creating jobs. When a situation like this, it's a providing solution, it's a way of making more money and also taking away unemployment from our society. So I think that to rationalize why we have not seen many private sectors, even other oil companies, if they go into this before this time.
Okay.
The question I want our guests to answer, it will really surprise me that this is a low-hanging fruit of generating money for government, generating money for society, that you look at it, we can't even have the next of the point. You are looking at this. And it's very pathetic. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the answer is very straightforward. It's because of the interest in subsidy regime, right? Some people are making money under subsidy regime. So they don't, in fact, for the past 3 years, government had wanted to do this CNG gas expansion program. But I don't know what happened. I was part of the system, but I don't know what happened. That the system just slowed down. But because the new government has come now and emphasized that, yes, I want gas to come into operation, everything is made on leadership. if the president has not insisted that okay, go and work on gas, they won't do it for the next 10 years. But because there's no choice again on subsidy, right? So and everybody now see that the option now is gas. It's gas. So
unless you can afford petrol.
Sorry?
Unless you can afford petrol.
Well, yeah, unless you can afford petrol,
So,
but it's not very hard.
Yeah, because all those stations that are already, we have a massive infrastructure for liquid fuel.
Yeah, we have
so
it.
Those ones will not shut down.
Yes, but I can.
They will just.
I can sympathize with that man that's being that said
Called in from
why the NPC waited till now?
Yes.
Because of interest.
Because of
Interest.
vested interest.
Vested interest. That's the truth.
Okay.
Because if they have not stopped the subsidy, right, they will still continue. Nothing will be done. And NIPCO, they have seen the future. They have invested on this thing for over 14 years. In fact, 40% of vehicles in Benin, they are on CNG.
That's right. Transport vehicles.
Yes, transport vehicles. And even I can tell you, so many vehicles that are going to Ilorin and whatever, they fill up in the NIPCO CNG station in front of that church there. And when they're coming back again, they refill. Right? And everybody now want to convert to gas, to CNG, because it's crazy. To afford that kind of money. But at the same time, if government has not insisted that remove subsidy, we're not going to looking for the option.
Okay. Let's take Babs in Italy. Good morning, Babs.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to your guest.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Before now, I want to say where is NMPC? Like the last caller just analyzed. NMPC would have, gone into this before now so that it will reduce the pressure on the government. I read sometimes like last year that NMPC acquired some land in Kebbi State to start going cassava. Deriving ethanol from cassava. You can derive ethanol from cassava and sugarcane. NMPC as a major player in this industry would have, bringing some alternatives before now to reduce the pressure on the government. And I expect the government also, in some other aim, to be able to say, okay, bring in investors in this aspect. Because the pressure is too much on the government in terms of the government want to do everything. In the capitalist world, when we talk about capitalism, we talk about the men, people who have money in their bank, cash in the bank, who are bringing people, not only just the government doing this thing. Where are our rich men? Bring them into this whole process so that everybody will be part of the solution.
Indeed.
That's just my contribution.
But just before you go, Babs, in Italy there, how widespread is CNG use? Do you know?
Well, in Italy here, it's mixed, but there are some cars that are using CNG already.
Oh, okay.
So it has been a transition. For example, if you look at Brazil, 30% of what they use in Brazil is ethanol. They are the largest producer of ethanol. Probably most of their cars use ethanol, 30%. They mix it with the PMS itself.
Okay.
Are you getting my point? So countries have been doing all of this alternative fuel and all of that for a very long time. The major players in the industries are not doing anything up till now when we are saying we wanted to change. And everybody wants a miracle to happen just overnight. And the government is just under pressure with getting things done.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Babs. Appreciate you. As I was saying, this NMPC NIPCO arrangement, they said 35 state-of-the-art stations are going to be constructed in the first instance. I think very much in the like of maybe like demonstration stations about the best, cutting edge. That's what state-of-the-art is. So that's separate from, as you were saying, what everybody else will be doing. And I think you were indicating that, look, just like the stations where they have that facility, you can buy your LPG gas right now. You can also buy your car fuel. Yes. So it might well be, if that is what you are saying, that as you can buy LPG, there's also a section for CNG in the same station.
Yes,
you can see that.
Yeah.
And then even petrol,
yes,
in the same station. And you were talking about some vehicles, especially commercial vehicles in Edo State. Did you say 40%?
No, 30% in Benin.
40% in Benin.
Benin, yeah.
Yes.
They have been on it for over 10 years. They've been using it for over 10 years.
Well, the MD of NNPCL had said that the stations would service over 200,000 vehicles daily when they are all fully operational. So that gives you an idea of the scope. So it's clear that we shall continue to be using the expensive fuel. In fact, what I'm hearing is that the driver, the owner, the driver of the vehicle can switch between fuel sources.
Yeah. Let me say something to you again. From Ipman's side, Ipman also has secured facility with AFDB to finance CNG in all Ipman stations. That are interested.
The dispensing.
Yeah.
Finance the dispensing.
You have to buy the equipment and deploy.
Okay.
At our stations. That is the Ipman effort. We have even started it before the subsidy remover, right? Then coming to NNPC, well, they have no choice than to grab NIPCO. Because NIPCO is the one that is available now, that has been in the business, that have the experience, that also know the road. So it's a good start for NNPC. At least they are starting from somewhere.
Yeah, they're starting from somewhere.
But it's supposed to have been doing this one
way past here.
Back, yes.
Well,
at least because the president have said,
yes,
go and use gas.
There you go.
That's leadership.
Yes. So it's well, I hear what you're saying.
At least we are saying from somewhere.
Better late than never.
Yes.
You know.
But if subsidy has not been removed, this CNG will not start.
That's right.
It's true.
That's right. Since you said it's because when Benga and Abuja asked the question, you said it's because of vested interest. But
yes.
now that that interest,
no more interest.
There's no more interest.
No more interest. So,
you know.
So yeah, even with that, we are consumers too. We have to look for other ways to also switch over.
That's
and
right.
you know, when you're using CNG and petrol, if you are traveling, if you see that your gauge has gone down on CNG, you just press a button.
That's right.
You switch to petrol. Depending when you are going to buy to refill.
It sounds.
And when you refill back, then you switch again to that.
You switch again
so
to that gas.
You're going to incur about half of the price.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or about half of the price. So all of this is pretty exciting. But let me just slip in the fact that this is not the NNPC announcement. We're looking at what, 2024? Something like the first quarter of 2024 is where they are projecting this one to. So 21 of those CNG stations would have been available. But as you know, as you've already said, there are still some places where you can still get it now without NNPC being involved because people have sort of invested in it. But by the time they come in and many more people will get involved, then I suppose it's going to be almost as easy in the beginning as buying fuel. It's just a matter
the
of
only place I know that CNG available in Lagos is Ibafo, owned by NIPCO.
That's
I don't know other place.
Okay.
But we need to wait till 2024 to get this CNG when we have Ipman station all over. Is to buy this kit. The kits are deployed.
The kits.
Yes, and then the tanks.
And then you also have to
get,
well, one has to be very, very careful because this is a new technology and it has to be done properly and professionally. As you know, there is no shortage.
It's not rocket science.
It isn't rocket science, but there is no shortage of vehicles that are exploding in videos from abroad.
Let me tell you something. There's no any operation that doesn't have its own risk.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why safety is important. Once you are able to get by the safety,
yes,
then you are good to go.
Indeed.
But government has to, they did something in Bangladesh and Indonesia. Government came in and into the financing of the skid because I'm not on the street now to convert vehicles now about 300,000 to 400,000 per vehicle. So in which they can't afford, but government can convert it freely for Nigerians and then put a little bit of the cost of conversion on the cost of the CNG. Like if they are buying CNG for 200 naira, they can say it for 220. The 20 naira on top is the cost of the conversion.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That is if government were to come in.
Yes, then they be crediting. So each time you are refilling, you are paying for the conversion costs.
That's right.
So that's what we don't make people to feel the impact. But for anybody now to go and put that for 1,000 naira to convert vehicle,
Yes,
no, it's not easy.
They say it costs anywhere from what?
300, 4,000.
3, 4,
depending on the
vehicle itself.
On the vehicle, how big the vehicle is. So that area also is very key. I'm going to have to come in. So as they are paying for the CNG, they are also paying for the conversion costs, which they will not feel at all.
All right.
They won't feel.
So this is an idea that you are
This is very fundamental. It was done in it has been done in abroad, in Bangladesh, Indonesia. So I'm coming back to because that one also is very key.
Right.
Even if you have the CNG station, you have the CNG in the station, what of the conversion costs?
Okay, that's also important. So thank you very much for pointing all of these things out, Mr. Osatuyi, Mike Osatuyi, National Operations Controller of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria.
Thank you.
You know, so it's like, are you already driving one of those kind of cars?
I'm converting my own next week.
Okay.
And even in fact, I'm already using LPG in my stations.
There you go.
I've converted my generator to gas because of the cost.
There you go. Indeed. So thank you very much for coming along to talk to us about this. Appreciate you. Okay.